Greetings, Earthlings. I come with a message. Let us get right into it. For starters, I'm going to look at a message that I just received from the Canadian Taxpayers Federation. We're close to $1 trillion of debt? Wow. Does anyone know what $1 trillion is? $1 trillion? Pocket change. No open letter can get us out of this debt. However, I think if we all put our minds together and wish it away, it's gonna happen. All seriousness aside, folks, are we gonna get out of this? Can we get out of this? Every country in the world is in like the hundreds of billions to the trillions to the... I don't even understand those numbers. So, is there a solution? Is there a plan? Possibly in the works as we speak? Well, apparently there is. In comes Klaus Schwab with the Great Reset. See for yourself.
Now is the historical moment, the time, not only to fight severe virus, but to shape the system.
He seems like a really nice fellow. And I think he's really set on launching this agenda. I think so. I really think so.
We have to live up to the expectations which we have created, and we will do so.
The World Economic Forum even made a nice little montage. Have a look. Did you see that? At a push of a button, the whole thing's fixed. Isn't that so beautiful? So beautiful. Next, we have Randy Hellier. He's an MP. I think he's an MPP, which I think means member of provincial parliament. He's asking some, for some people, ridiculous questions about, these COVID internment camps, I think they call them, or isolation camps. See for yourself.
Next question, the member for Lanark Frontenac Kingston.
Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Premier. In my supplemental question yesterday, I asked this government if the people of Ontario should prepare for internment camps. In September, the federal government posted a call for expressions of interest for contractors to supply, provide and manage quarantine isolation camps throughout every province and every territory in Canada. These quarantine isolation camps, however, are not limited to people with COVID, but provide a wide latitude for many people to be detained. Surely this government is aware of the intentions to build these isolation camps from coast to coast. And my question to the Premier is, How many of these camps will be built? And how many people does this government expect to detain?
Question.
Following this, there's this global news journalist whose question's like unbelievably smart.
I'd like to ask you about disinformation. There's all kinds of conspiracy theories going around about COVID-19. Charlie Angus, the NDP MP, says he's had to tell his constituents the government does not have a plan to build a network of COVID internment camps. So I'm wondering, what do you think is driving these kinds of theories? Are you concerned about them, and what more can you do to fight them?
I'll put a link down below so you can get Trudeau's answer, and I'm just going to give you a short little excerpt from that interview, or that news report, whatever you want to call that, where Tam kind of repeats pretty much what Trudeau says, but I really like what she says. It's sweet. It's really sweet. If you decide not to press on that link, I'll let you in on a secret. Trudeau and Tam never said that there weren't any sides. They just said that conspiracy theorists are cuckoo. Cuckoo, I tell you.
Involves actually directing people to the credible sites like the Public Health Agency website if people did certain searches, taking down, sort of demonetizing some of the, quite frankly, outrageous disinformation.
Yeah, silencing dissent.
And sort of putting them down the list of search engines and that type of thing. So they're trying different tactics, I think, in their own ways.
You mean silencing dissent, right?
I think, but everybody, I think, can do more. Individuals not only should try and ask themselves, as I said multiple times, of when you look at a piece of information, ask a number of questions, including exactly where does this come from? Is that domain name credible? Can we use those fact checker websites to check before? Definitely ask yourself this question before you forward the information to someone else.
That is some seriously good advice. I'm telling you. So, yeah, this is actually from the Government of Canada. They're buy and sell. This is a service provider for federal quarantine isolation sites. That's the number. The status is expired. That means a tender, the notice, to get contractors expired. It expired, basically closed on the 19th of this month, which is of October 2020. So I guess they got all their guys. There's more stuff here saying kind of like what crazy Mr. Hillier was saying. But hey, this is, check your facts, people. Check your facts. This is, not a really reliable source here, because we're talking about the Government of Canada. Buy and sell, gc.ca. Yeah, I went to their website myself to find this, and you know what? My sources are all over the place. Very sad, really. In 2010, the National Film Board of Canada released a film called Outbreak: Anatomy of a Plague. Dr. Tam is featured in this. Near the end. Well, I have a short clip for you. Pay attention. It's interesting.
Health authorities are taking no more chances of the smallpox spreading. Police are sent to padlock every business suspected of being contaminated with the disease.
I think the public has to know this is one of the worst case scenarios in terms of an infectious disease outbreak, in that their cooperation is sought. If there are people who are non-compliant, there are definitely laws and public health powers that can quarantine people in mandatory settings. It's potential you could track people, put bracelets on their arms, have police and other setups to ensure quarantine is undertaken. it is better to be preemptive and precautionary and take the heat of people thinking you might be overreactionary, get ahead of the curve, and then think about whether you've overreacted later. But it's such a serious situation.
I know. Shoot first. Think about it later.
That I think decisive early action is the key.
Police checkpoints are set up on all the bridges, and everyone leaving the city is required to show proof of vaccination. Those who refuse to cooperate are taken away to temporary detention centers.
My question is, how temporary are those centers? And I dare you to ask yourself that question. I dare you. Well, that's it for today, folks. There could be so much more, but I think 11 minutes, most of you will probably watch 30 seconds of it and then scrap it. But for those of you who made it to the end, thanks a lot. And if you like it, subscribe, share. Maybe it's time to share. This world needs a lot of sharing. Thanks for listening. Be kind to each other. Support your community. And have a nice day. Bye-bye.